Okay, so we're going to develop an ePortfolio for the students at Marist College Penshurst Year 10 Geography, and what we're going to do is create this in Google Sites. We're going to make it a site template, and by doing this the students will be able to download that and then essentially make it their own. So we're in Sites. The way to get there is obviously through your apps grid, Sites, and we're going to now create this site. Now you'll see by default it within our sid.catholic environment it highlights the basic site template. Don't use that because it requires a lot of undoing. I'm just going with the blank site template to start with, and my name of my ePortfolio is going to be Issues in the Australian Environment. Okay, you can see here that sites, they create a unique URL, so no two sites can have the same URL, that is sites.google.com, yada yada, issues in the Australian environment. So that's why we're using a template where the kids make a copy of the site. Okay, so the themes are all there. That's an aesthetic thing, and once the student essentially creates their own site based on this site template, they can choose any of these themes and change the colour and appearance and look and feel, those sorts of things. So I'm just going to go with something fairly simple to start with. More options is the metadata around the site, so I might put in geography here. So if this site was publicly available, I might put in ePortfolio as a category. This ePortfolio will be used by Marist Penshurst students in assessment task 3 geography. Okay, so I'm hitting create now. So you can see it looks fairly bland, etc. at the moment, but that's what we want. We want the kids to be able to sort of make it their own, and what we're going to do is we're going to develop a little site header up here, our banner image, which we will model to the students exactly what we want there. Now, just to explain the site appearance here, we've got what's called a sidebar down the left-hand side here, and we've got our main contents area of the site, and we've got our site header up the top here. So I'll just show you what happens if you create pages from scratch. They'll just literally dump them down the side here in the sidebar, but in terms of look and feel, a horizontal navigation bar is generally preferable, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So what I'm going to do now is just create a new page. Up the top here we've got editing a page or create a new page. Once our assessment task is developed, the way we would put that into the page is we would edit the page, and we could then go in and insert that document from Drive, and it's going to embed our assessment task nicely into that page. Okay, that's our home page. Now I'm going to create a new page, and the name of my page is going to be AIM. It's going to be at the top level of my site, and I literally hit create. So you can see there the benefit of a sidebar is it automatically populates that page in the navigation structure there. So I've got home, I've got AIM. Now on the AIM page, you'll see there that again, this is just my site page where I can go and type in the necessary text. I can go and insert things like a table of contents, text boxes, YouTube clips, etc. So all of those things can be contained within our AIM page. But this is going to be the useful part for both teachers and students for delivering feedback to the students, and that can be done via the comments on the bottom of each page. Okay, So that's where we're going to be doing that. So my suggestion now is just to go through and we create the remaining pages that will contain the necessary data for the ePortfolio. Okay, so we have created essentially the scaffold of our site. We've got all our pages. Okay, so now we're going to set up our navigation structure across the top here, and you can see the Kylie's not a big fan of the sidebar here, and one of the limitations of the sidebar is the fact that we can't order this. So we're going to set up our horizontal navigation. Okay, so to do that we go to the gears. So the gears generally in Google means going to settings. We're going to edit the site layout, and up the top here you can see that these two buttons are pressed. I'm in the header of the site, which is here, and the sidebar is switched on. So I'm now going to deselect that, which turns off the sidebar, and I'm now going to put in some horizontal navigation. And you can see that it's put there a home button. Alright, one of the I suppose downfalls of sites is that the horizontal navigation doesn't automatically populate, so it means a manual thing that we just need to do. That won't take us long at all. Okay, so I'm here at home. I click on this part of the navigation button bar that I want to edit, which is here, and here it comes up with a screen where I say configure navigation. So this gives me the opportunity to put in those pages. I go to add page, and here I'm going to aim, choose OK, and you can see that it's dumped that there. The next page is going to be data. I choose that one and that appears there. So it is a manual process, but the benefit is that it allows you for it to appear the way you want it to.
So you can't initially set it up horizontally?
No, you can't. You create the pages first, then you do that.
Right.
Okay. So
Yep.
so we've got techniques, we've got processing, we've got actions, we've got bibliography, and we have acknowledgement. Okay. So once we've done that, you can see that all of those are at the top level, so they'll all appear across here. If there are any sub-pages, we can use this outdenting feature, so see how that links out there. So we'll leave that there for the moment, and we hit OK, and you'll now see that comes across as a horizontal navigation bar.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to make this navigation bar justified across the page. It's again a little bit fiddly. By the way, Google acknowledged that sites is a bit clunky. But anyway, we go to manage site, and in themes and colors, buried right down the bottom here, in themes and colors, you can see horizontal navigation. And what you can then do is go to layout, and you want it to appear in the center, so it appears in the center there. Again, we can change the appearance of this, and you can allow, spacing between all of them, so it might be 10 pixels, or let's just save that for the moment. So you can see that's the way it looks. All right. So let's just drop it back to 5 there for a second, because it looks a bit, that looks a bit better. Okay. So we've center aligned our navigation menu, and once we've done that, we just hit save. And if we then go back to here, this is what our site currently looks like. Okay. Now, things like your search this site, I would get rid of, and we're going to get rid of this issues in the Australian environment, because we're going to have a nice little banner image there. Okay, so what I'll do is just in manage site, I'm just going to untick show site name at the top of pages, and over here in configure search, I'm just going to untick that search site and save. Okay, so we're going to develop a site banner for our ePortfolio, and thinking about the whole GRASPs task, so goal, role, audience, scenario and purpose, these students are going to be environmental consultants. Their audience is the council, so they're going to brand their portfolio, the top of their portfolio, with that. Now, there's a whole lot of different types of graphic editing tools you could use to create your site banner, but I think the easiest is Google Drawing. Okay, so I'll just take you through the process of doing that. We go to Create, Drawing, and Drawing is just a very basic image editing tool, but really useful for this because it's quite simple. So the boys could create their own banner in Google Drawing, and I'm just going to call it MCP Geography site banner, and so we hit OK. Now the actual page itself needs to be a particular dimension, so I've just gone into that page setup, like that's 4:3, which is your old school TV ratio. I'm going to go into File, Page Setup, change this to Custom, and you can work in centimetres, but when you're designing for web you work in pixels. I'm going to have a site banner that is 960 pixels wide by 150 pixels high, and you choose OK. So that looks pretty much like a site banner there, right? So at this point we could put in, and just the other day they've added word art, so if I wanted to I could put Watson's Environmental Consultancy, TY Ltd, and we hit enter. So there we go, we've got a bit of a title thing happening. You could sort of play around with the look and feel of that. I'm just going to keep it very, very basic to start with, and here I would put a text box. You would need to include your inquiry question here in your banner. Okay, so I'll put that there, and you may even then want to have a logo, which may be over here, or we could resize this. You know, you could play around with the formatting of it. So up here, include logo here. Alright, so here's our very, very basic site banner. Basically when you create a drawing in Drawing, it puts it on a transparent background, so that's why that checkerboard looks. So if your site has a particular colour, ours is just white up the top here, but if it was sort of like pink, whatever, you would see that come through. Okay, so just coming back here, that's all good. We could even change the background if we wanted to, but we'll just we'll leave that at the moment. And now what we're going to do is just download this as a ping. So I'm just downloading it as an image. There it is there. Okay, and coming back to my site now, what do I want to do? I want to insert an image in this top part here, so back to layout, click on edit site header, and I'm going to use a custom logo